Well, here we are again, Freddie.
Ladies and gentlemen, creative people, thanks for following us and being here yet another episode of Designer Podcast. As usual, on Sundays we bring to you some stories from designer and creative people of Shenzhen. Today we have a very good friend and
one we haven't seen in a long time.
We haven't seen for a while because now he's gonna tell us all the fucking shit that happened to him in this last year. He got stuck out of China because of COVID, but you know him very well already because of some content that we did with him and with his products. Tommy Masera, watch designer and Italian industrial and product designer in general. Tommaso Masera, welcome back to Shenzhen. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, guys, to invite me. Finally, we can
Finally.
So how does it feel to be back in China?
Was great.
Yeah?
Was great because
It's almost 1 year now, right?
It's 11 months.
Wow.
11 months. I back to Italy 20 of January. So the day before the COVID exploded in China, you know?
All right.
Because it was the first day of the Chinese New Year vacation,
Right.
I guess.
Yes.
We fly with no mask. We fly, we back
Carefree, the old life.
Yes. And
So you brought it to Italy, basically.
Yes,
That's what I heard. That was you.
Maybe I
Patient
did
zero.
the patient zero. I was scared. When I back to Italy and I start to listen the TV program and blah blah blah, and where is the patient zero? I say to my parents and to my wife, I go to the hospital to make the test because I am.
That's when they called you COVID Masera.
Yes. COVID Masera, yeah.
No, right. Jokes apart, of course.
So
we
you were
are
just
happy
going
with
back for a typical Chinese New Year holiday.
Yes. Wait, no, I before I already planned to go to Philippines, and I bought the flight ticket. After in Philippines there is the earthquake in the town where I have to land.
So you were planning to go to
my God.
Philippines.
So and after my my father doesn't feel so well in Italy, so I decide to back for 10 days in Italy because and I
The longest
stayed
10
11
days.
months. Yeah. So yeah, was
Totally
no plan, was not
unexpected.
planned, but I guess was the destiny. The destiny choose for me that I have to back to Italy for some destiny. The universe tell me that I have to go there.
That was your place to
Yes.
be there. But you were not only in Italy, right? Your wife is Spanish, so I remember you went also to Spain.
When in Europe was able to travel, so end of July, I was back also in Spain for a while, for 3 weeks. My wife stayed one month and a half. I stay only for 3 weeks, and after we back to Italy. Yes.
I think I don't know anyone that took as many tampon and COVID tests as you so far.
I made I made 7 COVID tests in 4
Italy.
different countries.
Oh,
I make in Italy, in Spain, in Switzerland, and in China.
wow.
Are they all the same? Every country test the same way? They all stick something in your nose, or
no. My experience is in Spain. That was the first test I made. Is through the nose.
So they put something in your nose?
Yes.
Whoa.
Only one time, and this was terrible.
I can imagine.
For me, for my wife and my daughter. I have a daughter 5 years old, and I was almost crying, and
Really?
scary.
I mean, literally painful.
I was
they're
for
sticking-
me was terrible. I mean, when the doctor come out with such of big things, and
Where's that going?
yeah, I know, no way. Yeah, you have to. Okay, and I was okay. Let's do it, but it's not it's not a very good thing, you know.
And
My
you-
daughter was like, no, nothing
Same thing.
happened.
Up also in the nose.
Yes.
Wife also in the nose.
Yes, yes, yeah. In Italy, only through the mouth.
Where they just went.
Yes, there's one. And in Swiss was through the mouth too, but no security check there. I mean, in Italy and in Spain, the nurse was, you know, with the mask, with the face, how to call the
Covered with
yeah,
like with a
yeah, and the glue and so on. In Swiss, just the mask. No control. I don't know why, but it was a very easy way, you know. And after, when I back in China, sure, I made the quarantine in Shanghai, in 2 weeks in the hotel, and it's like a hospital. I mean, the people is like in the you see in the report of the news, you know, it was the
hazmat
totally,
suit and
yes,
Totally covered.
yes, COVID and so on. Yeah.
And
So you can see the difference also about the country, how they take care, I guess.
I
Because
guess the results also tells the difference of what
Yes.
was the procedure behind it. I
Yes.
guess.
Yes.
But how was people kind of following up instructions and rules back in Europe? You had the chance to be in Italy, in Spain,
Okay.
in Switzerland, because
I mean, Italy became the first, like,
the first.
first
but
hotspot
but
outside of China.
but I think it's also because we were one of the first countries that actually started to check, because Germany and France, they were saying we don't have, but they were not checking. So if you don't check, of course you have zero. It's like in North
like
Korea
we
they
don't
have
trust
zero.
us.
It's like, of course, it's like you don't check.
In Italy was the first country that you remember in Rome there is a couple of Chinese that they got the COVID in the hotel, so they start to make the test, and after I guess only 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks they discovered the one nearby Milano. So that day was messy, you know. But in few days, everything is changing, and you can see also the how to say, some local hospital of secondary or third city was closed. I mean, not the general hospital in Milan, but the hospital near my city. I'm coming from a city that is 30 kilometers from Milan, but the next city one was closed, the hospital, you know, for 1 week. So, you know, something that changed a lot in
Very fast.
very fast. Something that nobody can imagine. We have the report. I mean, me and my family, we had the report from our friends in China. So we start to realize what was going on here, you know. But my friends and all the other people that
No
I
clue.
meet, not very. They don't understand, you know. And when they realize, and there is the first totally lockdown that was in March. So after 1 month, that was discovered the first positive case. The people start to be scared. But you know, we have in the beginning most of the cases was in north of Italy. South of Italy, fortunately, was okay. I mean, and so also after in the summer, when I start to you know, see also some people from the south, they say to me that okay, we was close in house, in home, we cannot go out, but we don't really feel the environment, the you know, this fear that was in the air. Meanwhile, I was reported to my friend, because this is another story, because I don't even do the lockdown in my hometown. I was in another area in Italy. So I live in nearby Milan, and my brother told me that in one night, I mean, actually he was drink whiskey with another guy outside the garden, you know, in the building, and they heard about in 2 hours something like 25 ambulance, you know.
Wow.
So after 1 week, the totally lockdown was started. So that moment he started to say to me that he was
Started to worry.
started to
get
worry.
scared.
My brother is working in Milan, and he was lockdown in Italy was 8th of March. Till 6th of March, he was working, take the subway, go to the office, meet people
Normal
with
life.
no mask and blah blah blah, And so after the first 2 weeks of lockdown, my brother was very scared about it because I was, in the biggest, maybe the biggest city in Italy or the more dynamic, with no protection, nothing, meet people, blah blah blah. And after the government stopped it all, and you can, feel that in small city like mine there is positive case. So it was not
Because
easy.
then suddenly they started kind of to check and test everyone, and then
Yeah,
they realized that many
yes,
people already have
yes,
it, and so on.
Yes. When you start to check it, you can discover. For sure, if you don't start to check it, you don't discover.
That's what I was saying before. Other countries in Europe, they were not checking. Of course, they had no cases.
Right.
But it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah, sure.
And actually, I was reading recently that they started to do some tests and checks on the blood samples from blood donors already from October and September 2019, and they found people with COVID in the US and in Germany already from before it was supposed to be starting here, which is kind of obvious, I think.
Nobody will know.
But who will know? I don't know. Now, for sure, now you're back in China. I think you have the feeling that here is at least much more mellow. We can have a normal life.
It's much more controlled. It's much more controlled.
Much more control. Yes.
They take it more serious.
And what I can feel is that in Europe, or anyway in Western country and culture, we take it as individual matter. Here in China and maybe in Asia is more a social matter.
That's a very good
Yes, I can
point.
feel it.
Yeah.
But also because probably, and especially in Italy, finally, Fred is, everybody is looking at his garden. Okay, I have, for example, a friend that, he has suspicious to have, but he stay at home. He doesn't report to the hospital. So, it's your choice, finally, right? But because he's a freelancer, so he cannot, he prefer to stay at home 10 days, and don't have any check and work from home, go to the hospital, take the test. The test take at least one. After we have to talk about the timing. Here is very effective. In Italy, is not so effective. I mean,
You mean the timing to get a result?
Especially in the
and to
early
discover
stages.
the link between each other, and the bureaucracy behind that is different, finally, right? And if you are a freelancer and you are you are scared about also the economic is not well, so he prefer, okay, I don't go, I stay 2 weeks, 10 days at home. I when I finish, I'm free. I'm
down
sure
with it,
that
yeah.
I'm out it. I will ask for the test, but the serologic one, to just to understand if I got it. But you cannot do this in Asia or in China, right?
No, the thing is that anyway, like in not only in Italy, in other countries in Europe, they're not able to track it on a everyday life. I mean, here every building you enter,
Yes.
at least before. I mean, now just public places, commercial centers, whatever, they scan your temperature. If it's a public building, you need to write who you are, scan QR code. They are able to trace back and to block very suddenly whatever
Very
happens. And people do what they're told to. Me, I really don't understand. I mean, I would like someone to try to convince me that there was a reason of people fucking fighting in the street and burning cars and throwing shit and stones because they tell you to stay at fucking home. I mean,
no, it's crazy.
I would go down with a flamethrower, man.
I
It's like, at least you know, just.
That happened in Italy.
Of course, it happened in Italy. It happened in France.
Mexico.
It happened in the
US,
US too,
sure.
man. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about, man? But then, you know, it happens 1 year ago. If people tell you, don't go to work, stay at home, they would be very happy. No, maybe if they tell you stay at home because of the COVID, and I just don't get it. Like, what the fuck do you have to protest against? It's like,
Can't take away my freedom.
yeah.
Yes, you know, I don't know. Something very weird.
It's a weird disease, you know. It's a weird time, weird disease, and like all these lockdowns and stuff. Like, it's good that we locked it down, but like in the U.S., for example, we have Los Angeles is locked down, California is locked down, a lot of places are locked down, and it's just like destroying so many businesses and destroying so many lives. And like the sad part is that like the U.S. government, like, man, the American people got like a check for $1,200, and now they're in Congress fucking debating over a check for $600. Like, $600 can't even fucking pay your rent.
Yeah.
But not even 1,200. I mean, I have friends, they pay, I don't know, you have a restaurant, you pay $6,000 a month a rent, you give me 1,200 and then what? I still have to pay the rest.
You know? It's crazy, man. The whole situation is just fucked up.
Yeah, maybe somebody that I know, they receive the check and after they have to pay the tax.
Yeah.
So you receive the check and most of the check you
pay back the taxes. Yeah.
Finally was.
Mostly, yes.
It's all bullshit,
That
dude.
don't was bad, but happened. You know?
But for sure, I mean, it's a period of a transition. As anything unexpected, everything has to, anyone has to face consequences. But every big change happened drastically, and I guess that 10 years from now we might look back at it with a different perspective, with seeing a different normality and how it happened. I mean, I think I don't want to enter like now in crazy things, but I think that for how much all our humanity was expanding and living and doing things, maybe also it was time to being forced to stop consuming resources, traveling, polluting. Maybe we gained 10, 20 years of the point of not being able to coming back and save our planet, basically. So
it's a symptom, how to say.
it's like, you know, when we get sick, our body produce antibodies, anticorps to.
No, nothing was. I mean, as I told you, was a destiny. For me, it was a destiny that something like this happened. That I back. That there is a. I'm sure about that, and was destiny. That I mean, somehow, and was. I mean, 2019, 2020, 2021. I don't know, but somehow has to happen something like that, right?
Yeah.
Because the lifestyle and our habits finally produce that is not is artificial, is nature, but is somehow
it's a consequence of
our attitude and.
Was it hard for you? You have a young daughter. She's 5, right?
Yeah.
She was with you. She went to.
How is the perspective from a kid in all this? What do you reckon?
She started.
She realizes.
She realized that, and but was as a kid mind, she just assumed, just realized
Accepted.
it. Accepted,
Okay.
Was not a shocked moment or drastic or a drama.
She doesn't pay the rent,
there
right?
There is a COVID. I moved from this city to the other city. I have to stay at home.
Right. Was she gets
Yes.
scared or?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. But, during the lockdown, okay, this one was the thing. I back in my hometown nearby Milan. For only 10 days. After the day after we left, was 21st of January, so we arrived in Italy, and I guess 21st and 22nd January, here in China is the first time that come out the news of the COVID, right? So after 1 week...
So when you flew back, you were with your wife and daughter?
Yeah,
all right.
So we stay in my hometown, and I want to back in China. I mean, I don't think about stay in Italy, right? But my wife say, "Ma, let's stay here a little while," just to also because the office was closed, was more difficult to travel, or anyway, okay, work is already...
Yeah, it was Chinese New Year here.
Chinese
Everything
New
was
Year,
closed.
they are
So.
postponed the vacation for the workers and so on. So we stay there. Okay, so after China closed totally, so we cannot move from Italy, and one weekend was 7 of March. I say to Anna, to my wife, let's go to the mountain just for a weekend, okay? Because my brother has a small house there, and
Where's the mountain? What mountain?
Is in the Alps. Is nearby Mont Blanc, but is a very far away village. Is 1,600 meters from above the sea
level. All right.
And is no bar, no restaurant. I mean, it's only a village of not ancient one, but there is only a church and some house there, and is living only one family there all
year
all
around.
years.
Only one family.
Only
Oh,
one
okay,
family.
it's really
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So 8th of March, close lockdown Italy. So we have the choice: or we back to my hometown, or we stay here. And we decide, okay, let's go to the nearest city. We buy the Wi-Fi, the printer, whatever. We set here our office, and we stay here, right?
Okay.
We back to my hometown beginning of July. So,
Wow.
yes.
So you ended up staying 4
March.
months up there.
Yeah, March, April, May, June. Yeah,
I remember we had a video call that you
Yeah.
were in
Yeah.
in Val d'Aosta, right?
In Val
Yeah,
d'Aosta.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And but was totally crazy. Means that you come from China. I mean, from Shenzhen, 20 million people.
The hustle and bustle, Shenzhen speed.
Yes, Shenzhen speed. Bah, 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 bah. Okay, there is a little Y in my hometown that was so. And after you are in the middle of nowhere,
With nobody. No
nobody,
people.
with the fox. I remember I go out to smoke a cigarette in the night, and there is the fox. Hello, bye. The fox finally become my spiritual animal.
Okay.
Because in this year, I try to destiny spiritual animal. I have to follow this way.
I think you should get a tattoo of a fox, man.
Yes, I should have.
To memorize.
I should have. And
So how'd you get your food? Like, was there like a grocery store, a place to buy food in the
No,
town?
I have to take the car.
So how long is the car ride to the
30
nearest
minutes by car.
to the
To
nearest
the
grocery?
nearest
To
supermarket.
the nearest supermarket, yes. With my auto declaration, because you have to write.
You
your,
had to self-declare that you are going out of your home
Yes.
to purchase food.
Yes.
You have
Oh.
to fill up a paper and write in what time you
Yeah,
leave.
you cannot
and-
go out without any paper.
So do you have to go somewhere to get that paper, or you just write it yourself?
You
No,
write it
you have
yourself.
to download from internet, print it, and after you fill name, reason why you go out, where you come from, and where your residence. So I put the beginning I was scared to put China, So I put PRC, but nobody knows what it is, PRC. And every time, but in the beginning, in Italy was...
And they were controlling a lot or not?
Very control.
Okay.
A lot.
Well, at least
During the first lockdown was crazy. I mean, my experience like this. Every time I go to the supermarket, the police stop me.
So you would just be driving down the street, because so you leave your house. Is there like a checkpoint where you have to like show the paperwork, or
No, there is. Every time they choose another point in the checkpoint.
So
was
on the
right-
road,
right-
literally.
On the road, yes. I
So
try all the road, but finally every time.
But can I ask you one thing? They are stopping and checking you to eventually test your temperature
No.
and stuff, or to try just to give you a fine? The thing that my dad
Probably.
was complaining about. Yeah, they stop you and check you, but they check nothing. They just check if you're respecting the rule to give you a fine. It's like they don't stop to check if you have a
Probably,
fever
but
or something.
I don't know. When they stop me,
They
for
just-
sure there is not a temperature control. There is nothing like that.
they just look at your paper and be like, okay.
Even not. I mean, no. Where you come from? I mean, where do you live? I live in there.
Up there.
And okay, you can pass. Maybe I looks like local. I don't know why.
Okay.
But they never check my driver license, my document, or the
Nothing.
self-declaration. No.
So you buy your food. Go there like once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, probably.
Once every 2 weeks?
Yeah. And that's all. Yeah, because was
And once
the
you run
only
out of your-
way, the only shop that are open are the supermarket, informatic.
I don't think you can call delivery
You
food.
cannot call delivery
You
for
can't,
sure.
you can't order Amazon for like
Yeah.
get some bag of
No,
chips
but
or
Amazon
something.
was working.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So Amazon would deliver up there.
Yeah.
So you could order like
Yeah.
But not food, man.
no food.
what?
Amazon in Italy don't deliver food.
No, not at all.
No,
Only books or goods.
So you can't order like,
No,
like
but
pasta
wait.
or tomato sauce or
No, not on Amazon in Italy.
Finally,
At least for what I
we-
know.
no chocolate, no nothing, no food, nothing on Amazon.
I don't think so. In Italy, I don't know. No.
I don't know, but if it was allowed during that period, I don't think was allowed.
Right.
We just buy, a laundry because we don't have, or something for the house because after 4 months, something like that.
Was it to some extent also quite spiritually interesting to have that slowdown?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Right? You
Yeah,
see the
sure,
fucking
totally.
Your fox spirit
stars,
guiding
man.
you.
Totally.
Fox and stars.
Yeah, totally. It was great. I mean, was not great because the situation in the world was was in the middle of the worst period. But for me, for Anna, for my daughter, was just brief, relax, make the point.
You wouldn't have had the chance of spending
Yeah, you
4
make-
months
yes,
there, right?
You make the point. I mean, you start to
It's a fact.
stop a
It's like-
little bit, and okay, I arrived till here. Now I stop a little bit because I cannot do nothing else. I still working. I still work in China, smart working. Was a little bit tough for the you wake up very early, smart working finally. Okay, sometimes, but 1 year of smart working I don't suggest to anyone.
So you didn't work at all? You didn't like.
Most of the time was WeChat meeting or something.
So you did some work up in the.
Yeah,
in the
sure.
house, but-
Yeah, because when China opened again, that was end
Like,
of March.
Yeah, end of
Yeah.
March. Yeah.
Everything, and Rostam, with a little bit pressure also. But anyway, you have the time to realize how to go on, and I don't know. I remember, for example, there is a drastic change in every level. For example, one level that I really I can really feel was the season changing. I mean, here in Shenzhen, mostly you have
There's no season. I mean,
No
honestly, there's
season,
no
right?
season.
I mean,
There's
okay,
1
February,
month and a half
January,
of cold and the rest
colder,
is,
but, you know,
and
the-
a month
You
and a half
don't- you
of
don't
very
have-
hot
You
and
don't
the
have like
rest.
the trees changing color.
Yes, right.
You know, them going barren in the winter to, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
new
don't have
growth
bears
in
except
this-
in the zoo.
No, barren.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Like they go, you know,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
drop
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
leaves, you know, and then in the springtime, all the
Yes.
new leaves come out, and it's green and it's vibrant, and
Yes.
the snow starts
And also
melting,
is
and
a
the grass
city,
starts
a big
growing.
city, right?
Ah, yeah.
Nature very is a great city, Shenzhen, for the garden, for the green. I mean, it's amazing.
But it's not wild nature.
But it's
like,
not a wild. I was in the wild nature. I mean, and and
Into the wild,
into
literally.
the fox was there. You know? And I arrived with the snow. I see. So I final
Oh, yeah,
of
because when you
winter,
arrived, of
well,
course, was-
snow and was snowing. I mean, sometimes snowing, right? Because it's a high
end of
mountain.
March. Yeah.
And I see the spring. I see. I live. You know. I live
All the way
free-
into the
free
summer.
season,
Ah,
you know?
wow.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, yeah, it's an experience that you know is very very good. It's very very good, and you feel the nature. I don't know how to explain.
But not
it's
only
a
the
spiritual things that
and
everyone has to. I mean, I do in a small way and with my iPhone in the box. I mean, and I was still connected with around the world. But anyway, when you can feel the nature, you know, is you can breathe and you can understand, you can follow, you know, the time of the nature and.
Well, literally
is
the time passing, the fact that you perceive the seasons. I mean, especially us as creative people and designers, we are always running from one deadline to the other.
Yeah.
We never stop. Sometimes working after hours, and sometimes waking up in the afternoon because we spent the whole night in office. Whatever, we are a bit like spaced out in that rhythm. And our surrounding in a city like Shenzhen.
Yes.
It's always kind of
Yeah, yeah.
the same, except the cityscape changed a lot. You suddenly have a new building after 3 months that you was not there before. But seeing literally the season as part of your visual landscape.
I mean, the only thing
Yeah,
the only thing I can
gives
say
you-
is like about Shenzhen. The only like real season change is like every spring you see the mangoes on the tree in Lohu.
Right.
You know, that's it.
Yes.
Besides that, there's like it all looks the same.
Yes.
Most
But
of
you
the
know,
year.
you can feel that 1 year is passed away. You can feel that something is reborn. We are linked with the nature somehow. We don't know why, how long, but you know, the human being is part of the nature, no? And this one is a big. I feel something that was anyway some mystic way. Okay, but I don't want to speak, you know, like crazy people or a
No, I totally
Buddha
get it. I totally get
monk.
it.
But you know, you can. You are more connected with yourself, even.
Right.
Yeah.
And for your daughter, she
And she is.
she grew up mostly in Shenzhen, or
Yes.
born
Yeah.
born here, or
Right. She was born in Hong Kong. Yeah.
born in Hong Kong. So for her, this was like a great experience for her.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
You know, to
Great
be able
experience.
to.
We bought in Amazon a kit for the Explorator, you know,
Uh-huh.
for kids, where you can have
Like a little magnifying glass, you can see the
yes,
bugs.
in the spring, and we go to see the animal, the Pinocchio one. What is the name? I don't know in English.
Pinocchio.
No, the animal, grillo. How to say?
Oh,
The insect of Pinocchio. You know, the green one.
Oh, the cricket.
cricket.
The cricket.
Yeah.
We go. We have a tool to take it. You know, and so we go there. And she was very, very. One day we wake up with a lot of noises. You know. But a lot of, and it was the bell of the
cows?
Of the cows.
Suddenly, randomly walking past
Yes.
your house.
Crazy. But
How
a lot
many of
But
them?
a lot of noises, eh?
But because they were many.
Hundreds.
No,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, really. I don't have here the video.
Like
but-
randomly passing there.
No, there
suddenly.
is the you know the people that they change the every day after they explained to me that to have the meal, they change every day or every 2-3 days
The area
The
where they
grazing,
eat.
right? Let the grass grow and
Yes.
then move it on.
But a lot of bloom, 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 bloom.
That was like the
You
most
open the windows,
exciting day of the
and
month.
there is the cow there.
Best day of the month. It's when the cow showed up.
Crazy.
Oh, that's great, man. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
honestly one thing I don't like about having kids in Shenzhen compared to my own childhood
Yeah.
is like a big part of my childhood. I grew up in the country.
Yeah.
You know, there's like in the city that we were living in, it's only had 2,500 people. Not even a city; it's a small town.
Back in the U.S., you mean?
Back in the U.S., you know, but we live between two rivers. We can go swimming. You know, we get dirty. We can go look at the animals. You know, we used to have like bears and deer and pigs and you know all kinds of. We had fox. One day I caught a fox in a little trap that I made. You know, and I just wish like, and we went camping all the time.
Yeah.
And I just wish like my kid, who grew up in the city, could have a little bit of
Of
taste
that,
of that, you know, instead of growing up in this hustle and bustle. You know, we didn't have like phones or you know internet or nothing to distract us, or
Nice
you know,
to-
it was just like the slow life. You know, it's where you can see the nature, you can see the seasons, you can smell and taste the dirt. You know.
Yeah, sure. No, my daughter was lucky to to touch it
Yeah.
for sure, and I guess she can she like it a lot, you know.
Oh, it's going to be an experience. That
It's an experience,
She's going to
yes.
remember this forever, for her whole life.
Oh, for
She'll
sure.
remember
Yes.
this.
Yes.
And
Little
after
point.
there is the family that was living there all the here. They have one daughter, more or less same age. So after the lockdown, they play together. You know, was very happy because
She didn't have any
after
neighbor.
2 months, you know that you are blocking in house. I mean, I don't even see the people that is living in that village, or because we was
But
only 9 people.
the closest house to you was like what?
No, but
meters
There
away?
is one family that is living all the time there, but is around, let's say, 400 meters square.
Okay.
Okay, but you know you don't meet
Yeah, right.
because. And downstairs there is another couple of 60 years old people that sometimes we have a talk. Okay, so three of us, and after there is other 3 people upstairs, you know, because it's a village on the. So we have a contact only with our really neighbor that is downstairs.
Okay.
So only 10 people there. But say to a
When you meet 10
Shenzhen
people in the
that
elevator,
you are
fucking-
living
Yeah,
for
exactly.
months
It's like as many people I
with
meet
10
in the
people.
elevator. like, on an average
cannot,
day.
is
Not even on peak hours. It's crazy.
Just
man.
go take out your trash, dude.
nice.
Yeah, but when you say that the town where you grew up is 2,500 people,
Yeah,
in
it's
my
a-
only building,
Yeah.
I think there's at least 5,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
like,
You know,
it's like
bigger
my
than-
building.
It's bigger than the entire town, yeah. 100%, dude.
Crazy.
We had like 2 neighbors, and after that, it was just forest and woods until the next little house somewhere.
Oh, I think that like these kind of experiences, maybe I don't know if it already happened or you have something in your head, but especially when you are a creative person, can give you inputs in how to like explore something or try to combine that something into what you're creating as a designer, whether it's from watches or products. Especially you're dealing with time when you design watches, just to show how times pass, but actually times pass not just because it's seconds, it pass because of like season, colors, so you know it might affect your temperature, you know, it might affect a lot also your creativity, I think.
Sure. Yes, is during that time I remember. I mean, there is so many things happen, and also something that I cannot explain so much, but is I don't have the words, but when you are in such of unique situation, you know, that you are far away from your home, because finally when I come here 2 weeks ago, I enter in my house and I feel at home. Finally,
Right.
because you know I'm is where
Yeah,
I
of
have my
course.
things, where I have my work, my friends, and so on. And you are used to a big city, and you are there, you know, something in your attitude also change a little bit, you know, because you are start to think about different way, right? And for sure this one affect a little bit the process, how you approach to the project, how you can also manage a little bit the people. After, fortunately, I also, have some contact for another work, for design work, but not strictly for the watch. That link me to more with also Italian people,
Okay.
because also I work for the furniture fair, so there is some project with some other architect and designer in Milan, so you know, and yeah, all these messy that happen, you exchange a little bit the ideas, right, and and you realize that, for example, in our work, this one is my personal experience, is not my personal thought. I mean, what I think, because I used to steal a little bit the things, you know, because as someone say that the now I don't remember the stealer copy, the artist steal, you know, when
Okay.
you steal and you, so it's mine, no?
Yeah.
No, the thing is, in our work, you know, we are used to make plan for the future, right? I mean, in architecture and design. Now, after COVID, probably there is not a line, a linear direction in the
Right.
future, but there is a labyrinth of
Options and
option
possibilities.
corners where everything can mix. Okay, so sure, this kind of situation that I was living, more speaking about with other creative people, for sure changed my perspective also in our work, and I think is great. I mean, is there is no more logic. Okay, something can is like an earthquake a little bit.
Yeah.
And this one, I guess, is a good point to analyze, you know, in our work and understand how can be.
No, also because I guess that as designers, most of the times we might end up like following the logic of like the market or of everyone's else logic in terms of giving for granted that people want a new phone after 6 months,
Yeah.
or that they want, change things often. So the value that we put also in the things we create is because of what people expect.
Yeah.
But if it's a moment that if we switch our thoughts as designers, we are the first one that we are actually able to put something on the table on the market for the people to try to change their own values of how things should be done and how long should they last, because until we just go with the flow, it will get worse and worse. We are the first ones that are able to, in our little range of reach, to show that the options are different and maybe more sustainable in
Yes,
terms
sure.
of
Definitely.
how long they can resist, or how can they made, or how they should work rather than how they should look, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
We were discussing also the other time with Edo, that is doing these sustainable designs and stuff. I mean, one thing is when when they are sustainable just because they are ecological, but if to make them ecological you spend a lot of resources, then how sustainable are they?
Right.
So sustainable is not that. It's all
Yes.
about the culture behind of how things work
Yes.
and how they are really made. Because I can make the most sustainable house off grid with solar panels, but I need space out of the country. But then, if you need to take your car and put CO2 in the atmosphere and fuel it to drive 45 minutes every day to bring your kids to school and go to work every day, that's not a sustainable way of living. So.
Sure. It's a sample
it's
of
beyond
a
the
green,
product,
green
right?
house, but it's not a
Sustainable life.
project. Yes.
So sustainability is not only the
Yeah,
product
it's a
itself.
big, it's a big point, and is one of the maybe is the goal. Is the next goal. Is the main one of the main goal on the project on.
But one thing that I hope, because literally it must have happened already, in the sense that I am sure that until 1 year ago, most businesses would have preferred to put someone onto a flight, to go into a direct meeting, face to face, check things, and then report, because this is the way you feel safe. When you don't have that options and you start really realizing and exploiting the tools of a Zoom meeting or a Tencent meeting, whatever, and when you are structured into that, I mean, not only because you have to do it, but then you realize that you save time and money, and probably things can happen much more fast. So hopefully our own productive and creative culture finds a more reliable tool into the new normal that is about having discussions digitally, following a project digitally. I don't have to go there, do a report, and spend 5 times more the time because I have to do something and then report and then send to people and then still have a meeting online with my
It's
team.
a matter of tools. If you have the tools that allowed you to do this,
We had this tool, and maybe we were not. It's like when you're lazy and there is a new software and you don't want to do it. You keep using your old one for 2 years. Then at a certain point you have to do it. Now we had to do it, and I hope that people also realized how much better this can be, and hopefully on a more global scale there will be less people traveling for nothing, or less people.
because it's a status quo.
And I'm sure that also, despite all the problems that this, of course, COVID and lockdown might have created, but then if you look at it in the, let's say, in the economy and, let's say, flow of resources, cash and expenditures of a medium to large size business, you would realize that this is already saving costs, despite of your losses on the other side because of COVID and whatever. But if you can make it happen, then you would not go back, I guess. Hopefully.
Because, broke the tradition and broke the rules a little bit is always not easy, but when you broke the rules and this one is happen and this move, finally you never
Yeah.
And yes, the sustainability is something that is a big key point of our work, of the project, of the architecture, of the design, and I mean it's great, when you have not only a goal but also a
mission
and how to say in English, I don't know, when you cannot, a rule.
Okay.
Right? I mean, creativity, if you have a totally white page, you are not creative. You just, when the creativity is when you have the rules, and in these rules you have to play and come out with something. If not,
Creativity, I believe, is actually trying to use what you have
But to,
and,
yeah, but
and put them
sure.
into something,
Sure.
not use what you don't have.
Yes.
That is, I don't want to say simply art, but it's like it goes beyond
Yeah, sure. And the project is
creation.
like this, yeah.
Creating something is not necessarily
Yeah, no,
about
not
creativity.
You have to be creative with the tools that you have and with the needs that some other ask to you and so on. For example, one of my I'm thinking that the sustainability is a matter of material and technology and manufacture process, but also is a matter of for sure a matter of the life of the product, right?
Absolutely.
This one for sure. And the life of the product remind to you to the emotion that a project, a product, an architecture give to you. Means as you love a product, you will never throw away, right? Because
Exactly.
it's part of your life, it's part of your...
It's the soul.
Yes, you remind something or so on. So, always, for example, the mobile is and here you make the difference between function and how to say, I will say not useful product. Okay. Smartphone is a very function product that you cannot live without. Is a design product, yes. Is a sustainable product, probably improved because of the aluminium and so on. But anyway, is a container product, with a technology. I mean,
Technology that is inside the phone, but in case you lose it, you care about what is inside the
Yes.
phone, not
Yeah, you don't
about
care
the
about
phone
the phone
itself.
itself.
yes, you are upset if you lose or if it doesn't work about the content, not about the product, right? And so it's very functional, and we cannot live without phone. Anyway, for something that is not useful, the quality of design has to be on the top because there is no function there. But you start to have now I don't want to look like a fetish guy or whatever, but anyway there is a emotion and a relationship with some object, right? I remember, I don't know, maybe the first bag or the watches or whatever.
When it has a value, when it means
There is a
something for
value,
you,
there is emotion there, right? So when you buy something for emotion, you have or you want something because you like it, even if doesn't change your life. I mean, the phone, you cannot live without that, right? For sure, the life of this product is longer, and even if you don't think about the function, you give him more life, because it's not just a container of something, but is himself a container of emotion, maybe.
Well, like, kind of like on your point was like, when I was a young designer, like before I got involved in making books,
Yeah.
I was doing like all kinds of different graphic design. I was messing around with like 3D and Flash animation and stuff like that. And I was working in Seattle, like for this, during like the early 2000s, like in the big .com boom. And then there was so I was working in Seattle for all these companies. We're doing projects for Microsoft and all these different, big companies, different pharmaceutical companies. And then the .com crash came. I lost my job. A lot of people lost their job. There was just like no more work anymore. I took like a year off from work, and then I got a call from my grandmother, of all people, whose best friend's son was working in this book publishing company, and they needed a graphic designer. So they're like, hey, like, do you want to go for an interview? And I was like, fuck, like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just sitting at home, smoking too much and, literally just doing nothing, like I made a lot of money like before the .com crash, So I spent a year like traveling to like Montana. Just like I joined up for some like random community college classes like darkroom photography, like sculpture, like just whatever bullshit. So I got this job. I went to this interview with this book company, and they offered me the job, and I started working and designing books, and we're doing these really beautiful like high-end quality books, and then it hit me. It's like out of being a graphic designer and out of all the forms of graphic design that someone can do, these kind of books that we're making are probably the longest lasting and the most cherished thing that I could produce.
Yeah.
And then when I made that realization, like I really like fell in love with like the bookmaking process. Like, you give somebody a good book, they're not going to throw it away.
Yeah. The outcome is tangible. It's not going onto a website and then will be
it's
off.
It's going to go on someone's library for their whole life. If they don't want the book anymore, they're not going to put it in the trash. They're going to give it to a friend or donate it to a book club for someone else to enjoy. Sure. It's like everything else is like the website after a year redesigned, advertisement billboard
taken down
after 4 weeks, it's done. You name it, everything else is disposable design. Yeah. But this is like the one thing that like for graphic design that would be appreciated and lasting forever, even generations.
But even if it's not forever, in general, it's long. I mean, it's long enough to be. I mean, it's meaningful and valuable enough to last long.
I mean, I have books from my childhood that I never threw away.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because like
photo.
The
topic of the photo with the digital photo. Almost I forgot. You take the photo. It's good.
You don't look at them
share to friend, to family, whatever. But after a while, you forgot. I back during the lockdown in my parents' house, and I have photo of my trip in Sweden 20 years ago. Wow.
Right? Same.
And whereas 15, you make it and you think about how to make the photo because
you only have 15 tries.
It was not one shot,
Yeah,
and when you 20 years later
you watch it, yes.
This one is the trip, and you watch.
I wonder in the past 10 years, all the photos we took, they're sitting on a phone. When are we gonna watch them casually if they're not printed out, man?
Yes.
But just that feeling, like, man, we can spend a day and we make like 300 photos. Okay, not 300, but let's say 50 photos. Right, you're going around, you have an event, some kids, but like. Those 15 photos that you took on that film, you had to take the film to go get it processed, to get the actual physical pictures. Man, those 15 photos, you'll remember your whole life compared to the photo you took 2 hours ago.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I miss that, man. I really do. Like, I miss having a camera where you could just hearing the sound of the cranking to the next one.
I think it connects you even more to the real memory of itself. Like you look at the photo, you might remember when you took it because it was physical.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you remember where you were and stuff. Sometimes you look at the photos on my phone. I don't know. I was discussing with I don't remember who. Last week, and for a moment I didn't remember where I was last year for New Year's Eve, and I look in my phone where I was at that date. So imagine, but it's like if I had developed the films of photos, then I would probably remember,
like when you're going through your old photo box, man, you remember everything. Oh shit, then you probably don't remember all the details, but as soon as you look at that photo, it all comes back to you. Grandma was making pie that day, and I was outside with my friends, and we took this picture, and that was our day. Man, fuck, I can't I look at my phone roll now, and I can't Jesus Christ, I don't even remember this time.
Even when you print means that you have now. If you sometime I print the digital photo of the mobile. Daughter or family, some when you print, when you have if you compare the printed one and the digital one, it's different touch. I mean, even if you look at detail carefully.
It's true.
And
I mean, like you're talking about like when the quality of the picture itself, like from
no,
film
but
to
I don't
digital,
know.
or just the,
You cannot do the zoom, But the feeling is that you have more remind, or you can feel it,
it's
smell
more
it. I don't know.
sentimental, You're more attached to. You're more attached to that experience.
And it's something that this generation will never understand, for example.
They'll never.
Or they will improve. I don't know. For example, I remember first time that I asked to my mother because my father is 40 was born in 42, right? So, and I asked him how was without the television, without the refrigerator, without you can imagine a daily life without the refrigerator? No way. I mean, how to do the butter? How do you with
then
the
again,
butter?
I mean, if we make
Like,
that
keep your milk for
comparison,
your
Keep
cheese,
the
you know?
milk, and he explained to me, and this, and maybe we come back here to the season and to the mountain and to the architecture, the life.
But think about one thing, that the refrigerator back at those days is exactly the same value that has the phone for us today. What you say is like pure technology. If the refrigerator is broken, you would just get another one, because what you need is the content.
Yes.
You would be sad if the meat inside or your cold prosecco goes bad, but you just get another refrigerator. Yes. So it's like the phone. But those other things, and I think in this, I mean, I always say it often when I have to speak in public about actually creativity is a very sustainable, can be a very sustainable strategy, because if we manage to insert that extra value of what I call soul, but like is what brings the value and the meaningfulness of something into an object, that object will last long. People will keep it. Yeah. And the most sustainable thing that we can do as designers is to make things last.
Yes.
And that is what makes the people behave differently. So it's I hope that all this madness of these days would open a bit the eyes, and not only the eyes, but even the responsibility into people like us that have to get things done, to get them done in a way that will endure the longevity and the life of the product, and how people treat objects. Because if we would change, I don't know, our things, our clothes, our phones every month, then there's no point of return, man. It's
this one is the quality of the design. What is the meaning? Design doesn't mean product, architecture. I mean,
anything created.
This one is the quality of design. Is what's meaning is for my. I mean, not for mine. Is a kind of trend. Let's say that is the quality of the life quality, and the durability of something.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that when even if you look, I don't know, at the architecture, I mean, despite the fact that some things were massive, so they cannot really necessarily be taken down, but from the pyramids or the Colosseum, they didn't build because they wanted to build something cool. They had a meaning for the community, for the citizens, for the empire, for the whatever, and they are still up there nowadays. The houses of the people, they are not there anymore, except maybe in Pompeii, because the lava came over. But the things that were meaningful to the community, to the people, they are still
lasting.
They are still lasting, man. They are still lasting. And from even the crowns and the jewels of a king or whatever.
This one is why? And this one is we was talking about the tangible and intangible quality, right? Before with the photo, with the books. So what is inside the house, in the middle, I don't know. For example, in Italy, no, we have a lot of old houses, right? But quality of the house is good. Maybe no, maybe is better. I don't mean the historical building. I mean the very old house in a street that is even not able to live there in 2021. Okay, only one road. But maybe it's 400 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago. Is the intangible value of this house that you don't want to destroy. It's not the tangible value.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
what it means, is what it was, is because it was located there for some reason before. For sure it's easy, destroy and make a better one, right? But you don't want to broke that intangible value. And is wrong, is right, I don't know. I mean, it's a big discussion probably, right?
Hey, that is something that anyway you cannot just.
I mean, we are
You
not,
can try to create, but you don't design it.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it's created by your design. It's not something that you
Yes.
design.
So it's sure it's a big issue to discuss. I mean, it's something is some point to discussion, right? But is interesting to understand, because someone can say, "Well, you are not start a process of development, right?" But anyways, in Italy, in Europe, maybe in USA, no, is something different. But in Europe, is not on the table, right?
No.
So it's not on the table. Think about improve an area,
Yeah, but
destroying a historical road. I mean, or a road that is old.
yeah, mostly. I mean, we don't really have that much
Yeah,
old
you
shit
don't know.
over there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
man.
And maybe sometimes you need, right? I mean, is something that I don't know. It's something that is
Yeah,
good
but-
to-
I mean, it really depends on what the function of the road is, like, or whatever it would be, like, if you need to make a new bridge because population is just too big and people are crossing this bridge and need an hour to cross
yeah.
it, then fuck you definitely need a new bridge.
For example.
But if it's just a mom and pop driveway street, fuck, repair it and keep it, it's better.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like, I mean, going back to like in Italy, right, you guys have houses that are hundreds of years old, like, man, my apartment building is gonna be fucking finished in 20 years. Like the wall and the cement is falling off my
Yes.
building.
You mean here in Shenzhen?
Yeah, here,
Oh,
yeah.
or even this in U.S. After 30 years, a house starts getting, you got to repair the roof. You have to do this.
Yes.
The foundation starts to crack. It's like,
Designed for disassemble.
yeah, it's just nothing is nothing in our I don't want to say nothing, but most of the things in our modern world aren't designed to
last.
to
They're
last,
not designed to last, because I think that especially from the 70s all the ways to the late 80s and 90s, there
I'd
was
even
such a
say-
big
I would
boom.
say 50s even started in the 50s. After
Yeah,
World
it
War
just
II,
started
and the
very
mass
slow, but-
production of stuff, mass production of food, McDonald's.
Yeah.
This,
When it started with that, you want to sell more, so things were not built to last, because you want people, mass consumers, to get your new thing.
and put it on the cheapest dollar point possible.
When the Romans built aqueduct, I mean,
It's still
it's
functional,
still
right?
up there now, no? In Italy, where a bridge collapsed because of the rain after 50 years it was built.
Yes.
It's like that there is something. It's like there must be something. So, but yeah, I think we will, as human beings, as in terms of design culture or lifestyle culture, we give things for granted just because we were born with that. Doesn't mean they were right.
Yes.
And then you look at the past and you look at what we are facing now. Then we already change an opinion and we understand that some things were I don't want to say they were wrong. They were better before. We just never understood it, or I don't know. Like even in terms of if we are talking about products in general, you know, I mean, the packaging. Sometimes for some products, people spend more money on the packaging than on the product because that's what they think will sell.
Right.
Yes.
And then you're thinking at the shelf value, not at the life value of that product. So isn't that so fucking wrong?
Yes, there is something something was mad.
Yeah, you'd rather have it be like wrapped in paper, like a baguette, you know, and have like a better product, you know, inside.
Yeah. So then, again, there can be either the packaging needs to be simpler, or probably the packaging needs to have an extra value for which you keep it and you don't just trash it, or maybe the packaging itself can be part of something you want to keep it. But this we were discussing also with your watches. You have a very beautiful packaging. Nobody would throw that package.
Sure,
I mean,
this
for
one
sure.
was
For sure.
you know, was the meaning of the function and useless. I mean, with the packaging that I design, you know, the packaging has only a few function for a very short time, right? And after there is no function there. But if you try to put value, intangible value in that things, when it's not more function, you will not throw away. And that one is somehow the concept behind one of the concept behind that packaging, one of the goal to achieve. And after was made by paper, so probably is better for
environment
recycle.
or whatever.
Is very light, so for the transportation is long, so you can put in the.
No, but I mean, in that terms, even being beautiful is something that gives a value for which you keep it.
Yes.
In the sense that, you know, even like when I had to deal with the design of the packaging and the bottle of the vodka of Blue Light, you know, I mean, if you think about a product that you consume is a liquid, so whatever, you know, this can will be thrown in 2 minutes after I drink it. But already if it would be a collectible item or that you can do something with it, maybe you save it a little bit more. But with the bottle, we want to do something simple, but it's so simple but beautiful shape, the whole thing, that when it's done, 90% of people would keep it because you can put a flower in it or just show it there.
Yes.
Because
Because it's beautiful. I mean, when something is beautiful, probably you get the point. And it's beautiful is part of the emotion.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Oh, yeah. When it touches you there.
Because, you know, I was impressive. I guess was one of the first Indiegogo or
Kickstarter
project was, I don't know if is another one. Anyway, I remember I saw the pizza cartoon, you know, the packaging of the pizza that you can make a projector. So usually you eat the pizza, you watch the movie, right?
Okay.
Or something like that, no? I don't remember where you have the machine, but anyway, there is this kind of thing. But anyway, okay, it's a crazy idea. When I still remember it, it's a good idea, but when after a while you will anyway throw the packaging because it's not made for that, right? But and also because it was not beautiful. So you just change the function. If you just change the function, finally when the function you don't have the needs, is not useful. And if it's not beautiful, you throw. I mean, you are not. There is not a relationship.
Yeah, of course, if you keep something just because it's beautiful, is because also you have space. I mean, not everybody is so fortunate to be in the condition of saving things because they are beautiful, but in the countries that create most of the problem in terms of production, most of the people are able to do that, to make that decision. So it's quite important.
But it's also, can be something to analyze. Is also something, we are talking about how to make sustainability, and we are speaking about beautiful things. So you say, okay, don't do the things.
Of course.
You don't need to make, right? So, it's a big topic, right? Anyway, as human being, we always need be surrounded by things or by tools or whatever, and for sure we need the
but if you're making something just because it's beautiful, then we are making art.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, otherwise it is
Yeah, sure.
If
But
there
who
is no
can,
if there is no
can,
function,
say that I don't know, a screw, that you cannot improve a screw, right? I mean, there is many screw, but it's not beautiful. You know what I mean? Or sometimes I follow in love with some medical or dentist instrument, that this kind of, that are very beautiful shape, and there is only one function, maybe for that knife or for that, but it's very beautiful, right? I mean, when you have this kind is a perfection. When you have one function and it's very beautiful, is the perfection, right? I mean, you need it. You cannot, and the shape is beautiful and is related just to the function that he has to achieve. That you have the top, you achieve the top.
Yeah. But look, now talking about screw, it reminds me that my granddad, maybe 15, I was still at the university, and nearby the house of my dad, they had to tear down a little church that was made with wood with very big needles from 100 years ago. Yeah, very crazy. These needles, like so long, kind of rusted, and because of they were there in these wooden beams for maybe 300 years, they were kind of all crooked and slanted. And I remember that I wanted to try to get one out of these beams that already fell down, but they were all rusted. So I said, oh, don't try, don't get hurt and stuff. And so I leave it there. After a few months, I came back to home for I don't remember if it was birthday or Christmas or just because I came back. He took one of those very long handmade needles, like with a squared section, like a cone, and he asked someone to polish it and take away all the rust, and he lacquered it, and he gave it to me as a present. I still have this crazy 400-year-old needles all crooked inside a fucking beam, and I save it, and it's like a screw, but when it's been inside there all that time and takes the shape, is
plus the memory of that experience with your grandfather.
So even something as stupid and simple as a screw can be of value.
Not the fucking IKEA screw, but there's some great screw around.
Yeah, they were back in the days. They were even making by hand those things. So it's like, wow.
So man, you're back in Shenzhen. Yes. What's the future look like for you?
Now, this year, is, as I told you, it was destiny, because I stopped a little bit and I realized, and
Breathe the fresh air.
some fresh air, some snow. The fox helped me a lot.
Your spirit
And
guide.
now some new project come out, and especially with the Shenzhen Furniture Fair, where I keep during all this year that I was living and working in Shenzhen the contact, and I always work for them. And now they are expanding in the new exhibition center in Baoan.
In Baoan,
It is the
very very small one.
It should be the largest in the world. And so the Shenzhen Furniture Fair in last August was the first edition in that new exhibition center.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you remember, and it's very big. And so as a furniture fair, the strategy that they have is to don't just focus on furniture, but make a fair that is focused on the house product and environment. Okay, so furniture, lighting, decoration, real estate, materials, design, interior, and so on. So step by step become a very organic and complete fair. So from last year they asked me to follow the pavilion of the lighting, so where are the lighting brands, but the goal, because the goal of this fair is just is a commercial fair, so it's not a design week or whatever. It's a commercial fair, so this one is very powerful in terms of business. But something that I very appreciate about the organization is that they want in every pavilion and in every hall put content of design, culture, and also research. For example, in the lighting fair, for sure is this year is a hall, and is around 20,000 meters square. So most of the space is dedicated to the lighting brand as a commercial space, right? But there is also content to put in terms of design. So we invite a lighting designer that is working in China. We invite interesting brand that are develop interesting product such as kind of new technology or new materials and so on. So, and after we dedicate one part to international design brand. So important brands that start to sell in China, but they want to grow up the market more and more. And also we invited some designer to make a vision of the future of the light. The show, the name of the show is On Light. That the name, on light, so around light, light turn on, turn
Light
off,
on.
light on, and so on, but also, online.
Online.
So there is a lot of, and we call that section on light vision, where the designer can express their vision on the future of the light.
And we need to talk about it because you don't know what we are doing, but
yes, so it's interesting to invite people like to Freddy, you, to also for the next opportunity to have some exchanging about it. And after we also invite a design Italian designer that is a master, because the name is Alessandro Guerriero. Is a lot of experience. Last year was already
okay.
where he makes some mask, lighting mask, wearable lighting, where he explained, his also his vision on
Yeah, but
driving.
already last year, I remember that when we were filming and stuff, it was very interesting because despite being the classic, I don't want to say, let's say boring, but purely commercial,
Yes.
boom, 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 one after the other booth of things. There was all the installations, interactions,
Yes.
and from kids and us, there was a lot of things that triggered curiosity that
Yes.
could showcase a product, or you use a product to do something beyond like being there on the shelves to be showcased. So
Yeah, this one is the goal of this fair, for sure is a commercial fair, but they want to put content inside also to, make more interesting for professional visitors like architecture,
Exactly.
interior product. So it's not only a seller to buyer, but the buyer is also an architect, right?
right.
That one 10 years ago was not so evident in some fair in China, right? It was more focused on manufacture to sellers and so on. Now this fair is improving a lot on this, and I'm very glad to have the opportunity to work with them, because the vision is big and is right. I mean, they have this goal that they achieve. Also, is one fair that is giving some space to some curator, right? For example, I'm curate the online part, but they are giving also to other professional some others part to put content on that, and using their experience and content to develop a space and increase the value and the content and the experience for the visitor. So is
Also, can expect and I can imagine that because of a lot of things were kind of blocked in this past year. I mean, I know that in last August they did the fair, but I'm sure that a lot of brands that were outside of China, probably they could not ship things in, or their productions were stopped, from Italian brands to US brands, whatever. It's gonna be, even though now it's happening in March, and there has been probably only few months, not a full year of development behind the scenes. Probably many of these brands were kind of on a standby or had time to develop new things. So probably on one side, maybe you have less time to get it, to put it together, but at the same time, the response and resources you might find from the third parties can be interesting, because for almost 1 year, if not more, there were not much going on. The Milan Furniture Fair didn't happen. The one in Shanghai didn't happen.
yes.
I don't know if the furniture fair in Italy is happening in March, April. I think they already said they moved it
postponed
again.
to September 2021.
So it's almost 2 years that the biggest and
Yeah,
most
the
popular
biggest
one in the
player-
world
the
is
biggest
not.
player are they delay for sure.
So it can be a
things.
good.
Yeah, sure. Is in 2020. I don't want to say it's something that I don't know, but for sure there is. I don't know if it's the only one as furniture fair, because Guangzhou doesn't happen, Dongguan
didn't
doesn't
happen, yeah.
happen, Shenzhen, Shanghai doesn't happen, Shenzhen happen. Maybe there is other fair, I don't know.
But already
Small
Shenzhen,
around, but-
it was. I remember when we went there. Despite it was interesting and stuff, I also wanted to see the new building, the new fair. But it was a moment where it was the first real big event that was finally happening,
Yes.
and it was packed of people, man. Because it was finally,
Yeah, back to the
back to
normal-
something real, like.
Yeah.
Because all these online things and stuff, okay, work well, but it's not the same feeling.
Yeah. No, it was tough, because it was planned for March 2020, and after happened in August 2020. You can imagine how is the work behind to postpone a fair from March that you know that is cannot happen in February. Okay. In end of January, should be. It was planned to be in March.
Yeah, it's all set up.
In 1 month before, cannot happen. So postpone in August. So you have to change. I mean, there is big work behind that, and they achieve, and is great. I mean, I don't was there, unfortunately, but people say to me that was successful. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good show.
It was a good show. Yeah.
Shenzhen
Speed,
yeah, boom,
Shenzhen
crazy.
Magic. I don't know.
Just makes it
Only in
happen.
Shenzhen probably.
We made we put on YouTube our video vlog report of that already, right?
I don't think that one's on YouTube. I know it's on our WeChat channel.
On our WeChat we did. I don't remember if we put on YouTube, but yeah, we
I
put
remember
on.
that you make some.
We put on WeChat. No, it was great. It was finally a bit of a fresh air after everyone was stuck at home and stuff. So.
So back in Shenzhen is
When is it going to happen in Baoan again?
March
And,
from
end of March or
17 to 21st.
Okay,
Yeah, so go there because it's
2-3 months,
in 2-3 months.
less than 3 months.
Yes,
Are you ready?
ready,
it,
ready, always ready.
You got your pavilion all set up?
Yeah,
You got your pavilion set up and ready?
Yes, for sure.
Good.
Now we have
time
some
flies,
news
really.
is good. Yeah.
So are you also designing light products, or you're more of like the curator for?
No, this year I'm for that whole I'm more like a curator. I mean, I invite I make contact with some brand, and I put the general vision of the content inside, and I have some connection with the light industry in terms of brand and also in terms of designer. So of course there is behind our organization that can
Right.
set up all the things. And but I don't have any product to show there. But last year I designed a set of lighting for a Chinese brand. The name is Ruffillo. It was a new brand made by a big brand. I mean,
Okay.
but in China there is this attitude of the brand that there is a big house, a big brand behind, and after they just change the style and so on. It was an interesting concept because they asked to different young designer around, not only Chinese, Italian, French, Spanish designer to design a collection for them. So with a little bit different touch.
Each one collection was like one brand, or all of this you're talking is under this Ruffillo?
No, it's
umbrella?
under Ruffillo
okay.
brand. Yeah.
No,
was a very good project because was very, it's like they give you the freedom to make your own product. There is a briefing, but it's not a briefing that is touch the market. Okay. For sure, after, for example, to achieve that collection, that design, I was working on 5-6 one that was, not pass, right?
Okay.
But anyway, they don't say I want. They give freedom in the creativity, at least you have to be. Is like they give you the chance to design the light in the product that you want. Okay, that is not very common nowadays with especially with some Chinese brand that they want focus on that market that kind of lighting for that people, for that target, and blah blah blah. It's something more like Italian design process for a brand, that they give more to the creative people the lead on the market too,
Yeah, it's also a good kind of PR strategy, probably also because
sure.
each
Yes.
designers and stuff is just
Yeah,
follow up.
sure.
Also, they
it's
get
also
very
major.
innovative products too. Something that's not outside of the box.
Exactly.
People have freedom to
Yeah.
create what they want or what they think
So
is.
and they plan like to do this like for every new collection, always like call different people to have a brand new thing, or that was just like the startup, or you have no idea?
Was a startup because finally they present in March the product, and they put in the market in September. I mean, they start to make the production and
In September of 1 year ago.
2020. I mean, they make was planned to March. After the fair was in August. There is the COVID, there is the situation, and they start to, make the production in September. So
Okay, a few months ago then.
few months ago,
Okay.
So I guess was delay all the process. They
Yeah,
still
of course.
have this fresh product there. Let's see what's happened. Also because they want to go out of China
Okay.
with this product. The situation now is not very good. I guess they are focused more now in Chinese market.
You also like when you work with this company, you also follow up on the production and like the prototyping, or is it kind of like here's the design and then
I
finished?
Usually I like to follow all the process, and I'm used to have idea from the manufacture process. Okay, so when you go to see a factory or when you have our data about technology or material or technology means also how a
Something is
company can
made or-
assemble
yeah.
something, not need only pure technology. So that you have the idea or that you image something. For this case was more you have, because they have a big industry behind, a big manufacturer behind. So they give you the briefing of what you can already. They give you the briefing of what you can do, this material, this process. So you have a list of things that you can achieve. And after I don't follow the production and the sample because I was in Italy, but also because they have a
team
they have
already.
a team behind that develop well. So was in this case was pretty easy the engineering. I don't do very strictly engineering for that product because they internally they develop and they achieve 80% of.
Okay.
So you've
Oh,
seen
but
the,
that's
you've seen the
good,
final product already?
Huh?
You've seen the final product?
Yeah. No, I see the photo. I don't have the chance to.
Hey, because he was not at the fair.
Right. Well,
It
he's
was
back
not
now.
a-
I don't know.
Yeah, I have to go. I want. Actually, I have to ask if they can give me one.
Right.
No, that we will be able to see soon. And we can expect great things from this 2021,
Yeah.
hopefully. Not only for the fair, but in general, at least being here, you will be
Yeah.
able to work on all the new opportunities and things that are popping up. We are looking forward for the fair because we enjoyed a lot last year. It
yeah,
was
well, this year, but
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I'm already
Almost.
thinking, yeah, sorry. The last one was 2020, August 2020. Yes, it feels like so long ago. It's just only 3-4 months ago,
yeah.
but yeah,
It's alive.
yeah.
This-
Shenzhen speed, man.
yeah, Shenzhen
You
speed.
get old
Also,
fast.
because it was still under kind of half COVID situation.
Yeah.
It feels like now it's different, and in 3 years is new year. So I feel ready in 2021, hopefully soon.
I think everybody wants this year to end.
Yeah, at least it's give a little bit of a fresh feeling about naming things and a fresh start, hopefully, at least
Fresh
here in
start.
China.
Yes.
And you've been here how long so far? How many days or weeks you've been back?
I back in Shanghai. First of December.
And then you
But
spent.
I was in Shenzhen in after 2 weeks, so 14th of December I back home. Yeah, so it's 2 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah, 2 weeks in Shenzhen.
Was a Monday.
Literally
weeks tomorrow, yeah.
freshly arrived.
Was there any time since you've been back where you opened your front door and you wish you had the view of the Alps and your fox running in front of
Yes.
you? Yeah.
Sometimes yes. No, it doesn't happen yet, but I'm sure that is a background that I have. So
You keep with you.
Will be back. Yes. No, but I suggest to do.
Yeah, I
suggest
wish
to
I
do.
could do this. I wish I could just go.
I mean, I
somewhere like
was
that.
forced to made it. Was tough anyway. I don't expect to made it. Also for so long time,
Oh yeah.
But it's something that
It was worth it. I think that time was worth it in your life.
Yes.
As a memory, as an
Yeah,
experience.
sure.
With your family. And now you're back here,
Yeah.
ready to take over 2001.
2021, man.
Oh yeah, fuck, 2021.
2021. Hopefully,
Oh.
20 years is pass away. Anyway, but you know what? Back, I mean, I'm living in Shenzhen from 2007, and now I mean, the first 2-3 days is a strange situation because I feel like a virgin here, but with the sensation that I already have sex.
Deja
I
vu.
mean, yeah, it was, you had the experience, but somehow it was first time, now it's better, no? I mean, but I don't mean that was bad,
Yeah.
but it's strange, because finally we are living in a crazy city and in a.
But plus, I'm
in a
sure you
crazy
see a lot of
experience.
things literally changed.
Yeah, sure.
So, Shenzhen speed, you live 10 months, city is different,
sure,
man.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool, Tommy. Was very nice to have you back, but also to have you here with us. Always a
Thank
pleasure. One of our first and favorite characters, supporters, and friends. So nice to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot to have you here.
Looking forward to see what you create in the future.
We will see you and everyone at the fair. We will share all the links and info to follow you, follow the events, the on-light vision that is up and coming. So to all the audience, thanks once again for following us. Like our episode, subscribe. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Shetty. Thank you, Freddy. You're welcome. Designer out. Boom.
See ya.
Thank you.